Good morning, everyone. Warm welcome to our attendees joining from India and Sri Lanka. And I'm Chirath Silva, Business Engineer at VSOne, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. We are VSOne, one of the rapidly growing value-added distributor based in Sri Lanka, and the official distributor for the AccuKnox. So today we are joined by Aditya Raj, Security Engineer at AccuKnox. Aditya, welcome. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Chirath. Great to be here. And good morning, everyone. I'm really excited today to deep dive into this topic where we'll discuss around the different securities around your different areas, like starting from the very first commit till the runtime, how you secure your entire workloads, your TLC, and a lot more. Yeah, so good to be here. And thank you so much, Chirath, for having me.
Thank you so much. Today's session is called Risk Visibility from first commit to live production. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll cover the structural problems most of the hybrid cloud environments carry. And Aditya will walk us through, how a single control plane changes that. And we will run a live demonstration of the AccuKnox platform and take us through real world use cases. And we will close with an open Q&A. You can ask questions. Because of the house rules, your mic is muted throughout, but the chat is open. Feel free to drop your questions as they come to your mind, and I'll bring them to Aditya at the end. Start the session. Aditya, let's open with the scale of the problem. So what does a typical hybrid cloud environment looks like for a SME or an enterprise organization? And why is that complexity is dangerous, Aditya?
Yeah, so basically, we know, right? Like from mid to large companies, hybrid is not just a words, right? It is basically you have different steps, different over different environment, right? You are using clouds like AWS as your GCP, the major public cloud. Then you have assets over on-premise like KHS, VM servers, right? And even if you have IoT edge devices, so basically it is scattered around different environment, right? The big danger is basically everything is disconnected. You use different tools for different area of security teams are trying to solve this puzzle of having different tools, understanding the security gaps there, right? But at the end you don't get a clear picture here, right? You don't get to see everything at one place, a clear picture of your entire security aspects. So that is what we lack here from mid to large companies. We have this gap, right? Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. To my understanding, so when the teams start using AWS, Azure, or GCP environments with on-prem and even HC setups and legacy systems, so most probably, Aditya, you will end up with operational and visibility chaos, right? To eliminate this, most your teams you usually turn on their different tools for the each environment. Over the time, those environments become siloed, and which means most of the time your security team is flying blind across the board. Having said that, I think the audience would also agree with me. Most teams are already using cloud native CS, PMs, or public cloud consoles to address this visibility operational chaos. So why aren't they enough for these kind of hybrid environments? Could you please elaborate on this, Aditya?
Sure, that's really a good ask, right? So basically, when we say like most security tools, right? Every security teams have certain tools they use for their security, right? Some of them also goes for the manual approach for the security, right? But when we talk around the cloud native tools or CSPMs, right? The cloud security posture management. So cloud native tools is basically built for that cloud, right? It works really, really great when it comes to protecting their own specific cloud like you have for AWS, you have for Azure, you have for GCP, you have for Oracle, and many other cloud, right? They work really perfectly inside their own bubble, but the second the data moves outside, like from AWS to on-premise server, you lose the sight of it. You just aren't basically the tool itself isn't made for the world where everything is scattered from cloud to on-premise to bare metals to IoT devices, right? And that is why there are different tools. But again, all those different tools give different insight, and you cannot see everything at one place, and that is where we lack the insight over security.
Got it. So the default console gives you like a view, right? So, but the never the full picture. So actually, Aditya, I've seen this happening. I mean, everything looks perfect, fine on the AWS or Azure dashboard, all green, no alerts. I mean, the team is chilling, but the till someone spun up a temp workload connected back to the on-prem system. So I mean, like that's the tricky part, right? So it's not an like obvious failure. So there's no red alarms, no catastrophic signal screaming for your attention, but it just sits there under shadows, waiting to be exploded. Aditya. And to be honest, I think it's waiting to be discovered at the worst possible time, Aditya. So we keep talking about blind spots and hidden gaps. So what actually lives in these blind spots, and what security teams are unknowingly missing, Aditya?
Yeah, so basically there are variety of things that can be a part of those blind spots. If I give you some examples, right? Like when we look in those blind spots, right? Usually we find some unpatched servers, right? That cloud scanners cannot detect because that is not in their native cloud environment. It's over on-premise. It's somewhere else in private cloud, right? Somewhere where the cloud scanners cannot reach, right? That is where we see some unpatched servers. We find some unprotected controllers, containers where there isn't any security rules enforced, right? We also like find some shadow resources which is not being detected till now, right? And yeah, we just forget about those things, right? And when we detect it, it's like, oh, we got this. This was actually there. So something
Yeah.
like this happens.
Absolutely agree with you, Aditya. So, I mean, like after the deployment, it often like feel like the job is done, right? So, and I believe that's exactly where the visibility starts to fade. Just a little by little. I mean, the assets are slipping over your control, your radar, and you will sense it, right? It'll show up through anomalies, like in your FinOps dashboards and similar signal across the environment. So my question is, Aditya, when do security teams first sense or discover these gaps? So what's their typical reaction? Do they surprise, or do most already sense something is missing?
Yeah, so most security teams, like they always have a gut feeling that something is missing. You know, security teams they always play around security, and they do have this gut feeling something is missing, but they can't prove it. The problem is the tool which they are currently using. It always gives them a green dashboard, like everything is good here. You have the security in place, but yeah, something is missing there, right?
Yeah.
And that is what we were looking around those blind spots, the dark spots where we were never able to reach actually, right? And when we reach there, when we saw those things, the reality is often very disappointing than those green dashboard, always looking into those green dashboard and seeing like everything is secure. Yeah.
True. So let me ask the next obvious question is, so how do we fix it? More importantly, how do we solve this in a practical way? So Aditya, so this is where I want to bring AccuKnox in, right? So please walk us through how AccuKnox approach this, and what makes a single control plane across hybrid environments not only actually possible, but at a scale.
Yeah, so basically, AccuKnox itself a CNAP vendor, a cloud native application protection platform. That is something that we have to offer. And when we say CNAP, right, and when we say the dark spots, CNAP, we relate these two terms, right? Our approach in terms of security is to provide a complete zero trust security to the user, to the companies, end users, right? And yeah, we were talking around the hybrid infrastructure from
Yes.
cloud to on-premise, right? So at AccuKnox, we secure your entire CI/CD structure, your coding phase till the runtime phase, right? The secret sauce at runtime is eBPF, the extended Barkley packet filtering framework. This is something providing you like kernel level visibility, your app behavior visibility at real time, right? So you have different APIs, you have like happy software, right? It all gets monitored using AVPF, no matter your environment. It can be cloud, it can be on premise, right? Wherever you have hosted your servers, right? So in a way, we provide you consistent visibility over your app behavior, right? Nothing gets outside of the site, right? Everything is being monitored, having a deep kernel level visibility over your app behavior, no matter where it is deployed, right? And once you see it, you can always protect it, right?
Yeah.
So that is where we tend to secure your entire workloads at runtime as well as the entire SDLC. We'll talk around it later on this session, like how we provide a complete set of security, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So this leads to my next question, Aditya. So beyond visibility, how does AccuKnox move from just seeing problems, observing problems, to actually preventing them? Like, can we stop the lateral movements, or can it be proactive? And I think this would be the most important question here. How do we reduce the attack window to near zero, which means real time prevention? I know it's a lot of questions, Aditya. You can answer.
Yeah, it's really fine, and this one is really good, right? We all know, right? Having visibility is one thing, but
Yeah.
protection is another thing which we are most concerned about, right? You just seeing everything doesn't solve the problem, right? Just seeing everything is not enough, right? Most tools which are already present in the market, what they do is they detect issues, they send you alerts, and then you have to respond to those alerts, right? By the time you respond to those alerts, the damage is already done. Now, at AccuKnox, what we do, we actually stop those attacks as they happen. So our approach is using AVPF, monitoring your app behavior, providing you visibility over your app behavior, and then whitelisting it. The term whitelisting is something very well known in security, right? The term whitelisting and blacklisting. Whitelisting is something where you choose what you want to allow, right? And when we have this level of control, this level of granular control in an application, we choose what to allow there, right? And everything else gets blocked. So, like in a nutshell, it's a kind of whitelisting approach where we choose what your app requires, we allow it, we block everything else by default. So it's not like detector response. We know what is required there, right? So it's kind of detecting, stopping the attack, providing you alerts as well. We won't allow any kind of attack there, right?
Got it.
And
Got it.
that's a kind of complete zero trust security. By the way, this one was really good questions, and this is really a key differentiator as well, right? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, hearing that, Aditya, so I've got to ask this. So I think a lot of people in this audience are probably thinking the same. So I mean, like, chances are most teams are likely have invested in the security tooling, right? So across their code bases, across their pipelines, so their runtime environments. So I mean, like, very few are starting from scratch, right, Aditya? So, what we like to know, for the teams already invested in this existing tooling, how does AccuKnox fit in? Is it a rip and replace conversation or something different?
Great. So basically, AccuKnox is not meant to like provide you a different tool on set of all the tools you are already having, right? We mean to simplify things, right? AccuKnox always meant to simplify things. We plug right into your existing pipelines, your security workflows, whatever tools you are already utilizing at your place, right? We can integrate with those security toolings as well to provide you like single pane of visibility, right? One dashboard where you have your entire coverage, right? The goal for us is to replace the clunky tools, right? Not just give you another screen to look at, right? For rollout, we start silently just to watch and map things out, right? Basically, analyzing your app behavior, which I was just explaining in the previous answer, right?
Yeah.
Once you know what's normal in your app behavior, right? In your application security pipeline, your application security posture, and your infrastructure security posture, right? You define a baseline there. You know that this is normal. You define this baseline there, right? Anything which goes outside of your defined.
You there? Hello. So we are waiting for Aditya to be joined. I think he's kind of having an internet, internet issue. Let's give him a couple of seconds to rejoin. Aditya, you there?
Trying to.
No worries. You are audible. I think this is the part where we showcase the platform actually. So
Hello, can you hear me? Hey, Chirath.
hi Aditya, yeah, I can hear you.
Great, great. Apologies, I
No worries, no
internet
worries,
disrupted.
no worries. Uh, so shall we continue as we planned?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so when referring to your last explanation, so it's about like the consolidation or addition, right? So we
Mhm.
are not ripping off the existing tools and replacing with another tool that might need um, thousand other modules to fully scan your environment. So, Aditya, I won't take much time because we have lost I mean, 2 or 3 minutes so we can bring this to life, right? So please take us to the AccuKnox platform, Aditya, and show us, what a full hybrid visibilities actually look like. Is it possible to share your screen, Aditya? I think we lost him again. Okay, we lost him. We'll give him a yeah. We'll give him a couple of minutes. Yeah. Hello, Aditya. Welcome back.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, crystal clear.
Yes. Great. Let's continue. So we had to discuss around like how AccuKnox can provide security, right,
Yes,
in a practical
yes,
manner. So what I'll
yes.
do is I'll quickly share my screen, right, and then we'll cover the security aspects of different areas, like in an hybrid environment, right. So just a second. I'll quickly share my screen. Yeah. Please let me know when it is visible to you guys.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So we can see your browser. Okay, we can see it now.
You see my screen, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So first of all, apologies. I had this internet disruption really first today. I don't know why this happened today itself, but yeah. Okay. We were talking around hybrid security, right? Having different tools for your security, right? And it is really hard to manage those security tools, and it is really hard to understand your current security gaps, right, and fulfill those gaps. So that is where AccuKnox comes into picture, right? We have this CNAP. We were talking around this, like how we kind of connect different dots from cloud scale to your on-premise environment, like your VMs, your bare metals, your IoT edge devices, right? Now, like on this platform itself, you find different sorts of modules, different use cases, right? And all of them won't be relevant in these cases, but yeah, there are certain things which is relevant from CI/CD perspective, right? When I say CI/CD perspective, your continuous integration, continuous deployment pipelines sort of perspective, right? Your SDLC, the software development lifecycle, when you write code, right? That is where we scan the code. We try to understand the code related security issues in that particular time, right? And then we first mitigate, we first secure those codes just to make sure that whatever code we are pushing to our application does not contain any security vulnerabilities there, right? So that is one thing. Now, I am not sure what is happening. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Aditya, and we also can see your screen as well. So we are the findings summary page.
Okay, cool.
Is
So
it
I was explaining
okay?
about this thing, right? You see my screen, right?
We
Yeah,
can,
I
Aditya.
am kind
Please
of
go
stuck,
ahead.
but cool. Yeah. So as you see, right, there is cloud finding, cluster finding, ISCs, AI, code, image, and application, right? All these findings are from different environment. All these findings are different use cases itself, right? Now, when we say your ISCs, your clusters, or code, right? It is not necessarily dependent upon a cloud like major public cloud, AWS,
Yeah.
as your GCP. It can be from your CI/CD. It can be from your on-premise hosted, self-hosted CI/CD pipeline, your self-hosted applications, right? Where we do scans for code, images, right? And that is where we provide complete coverage in terms of SDLC security, no matter where it is hosted. no matter what kind of environment are there, right? So I'll just quickly dive into the details, but I think I'm kind of stuck here. Just give me a minute.
No worries, Aditya, take your time. Sorry guys, I also disconnect from the internet and had to join again. And so it is Aditya. So he's not here. Uh, Let me check on him. Okay. Aditya there?
Hey, you see my screen?
Not yet, Aditya. Now we can see.
Okay, am I audible?
You are. You are.
Cool. I won't take much. I think my system is really malfunctioning today. So I'll just quickly cover the things here. Apologies, guys.
No worries, Aditya. It happens. Yeah. No worries. We can go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So I was explaining like how we connect dots from a cloud to your on-premise, right? The dots where most of the security teams were not able to see, right? Uh, the things or the findings which were like never detected, right? Dark spots, which we call.
Mhm.
Now, once we connect these dots, like if I talk around a specific use case, your containers, right? You can have containers hosted over your cloud. You can have containers running in your Kubernetes clusters. It can be a managed, unmanaged, like over your cloud or over on-premise. It can be over private cloud, right? And it can be also over registries like ECR, ACR, GAR, and then self-hosted registries as well, right? Now, if you use different tools, right, or even if you use a single tool, scan different environment, right, for one particular use case, then you kind of lost visibility in terms of analyzing the particular security aspects of your container throughout different environment, right? So that is just one use case. Now, if we see the broader scope as in the entire CLC, the software development lifecycle, you have codes, developer writes code, right, for your application. You scan the code, you use a different tool for code scanning. Then
Mhm.
you create a container, you use a tool for container image scanning, right? Then for your application dynamic testing, the VAPT part, right? There you either rely on manual pen tester, right? An organization which does VAPT for you, or you rely on a tool that will do VAPT for you. And then there are several other use cases for STLC, the application security, like VM security, and then comes the malware security, like security from malwares. So all these things, different security tools, and all those security tools giving you a clean sense of dashboard, right, of whole sense of security, where you most of the time you miss on the real security issues that is really impacting your application at runtime, right?
Mhm.
Now, if I give you an example, so you see this container image finding at AccuKnox, right? This is our platform. We have this container image finding, and the count is really very high, 39,346. You use any different tools in the market for like this thing, container image scan, you will get a lot of container image findings, right? Now, the thing here is how to prioritize these findings, right? It is coming from different environment, but how to prioritize which finding is really impacting our environment, the one which we are very much concerned about. To do that, what we'll do is we just quickly prioritize these findings based on the like severity, right? Like let's say we have 39,346 findings, right? And I just want to see the critical ones. What I'll do is I'll just quickly cover the critical ones. And not only critical, we have a way to identify if your findings is like actually impacting at runtime, right? So runtime verified, I'll just make it yes. This is a cool feature, by the way. So in case you are getting findings from different tools, a lot of findings are there, right? You want to understand how to prioritize those findings and which finding is like really impacting your assets at runtime. Then you have this flag over here. You just make it yes, and then you get to see only a few findings which you need to be concerned about, right?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think Aditya was able to really bring the platform story together in a very practical way. So Aditya just showed like how you actually move from fragmented visibility to deep, full contextual understanding, right? So and that's really helped to set the next segment, which is use cases, Aditya. So before we get into the use cases, anything that you want to flag or that we didn't get to show, Aditya?
Yeah, there is. Please let me know, Chirath, when my screen, when I stop sharing the screen.
I think I can see myself in your screen.
Okay, so yeah, so I was not able to share the complete picture of AccuKnox, right, due to my really
Yes,
bad
yes,
network today. Yeah,
yes. Unfortunately, yeah. We will have
sometimes that happens.
another webinar, another discussion for another day. Yeah, no
Sure,
worries. I'll arrange it. I personally arrange it. Okay.
sure, we'll have it.
Yeah.
So you were saying like before we move to the
Use
different like
cases.
next segment,
Yeah.
if there is anything to point out here, right? There
Yes.
is surely a lot of things, but I'll just point out one, right?
Mhm.
When we say runtime security, like having a single visibility and monitoring over your application from different environment, right, on a hybrid
Mhm.
environment, right? It's not just monitoring; it is enforcing as well, enforcement as well. We talked about it, but it is not only limited to monitoring enforcement of application at runtime, right? There is a complete set of SDLC security, and I was only
Mhm.
explaining the container side of security
Mhm.
here, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we see the entire SDLC, right? It's a sort of different toolings, different environment, and we provide you all at once over a single visibility where you, like security engineers, cloud administrator, right? Kubernetes admins, right? All can
Mhm.
be invited using different RBAC, role-based access control, depending upon their permissions and privilege. And then they can manage the entire set of security using one platform. So that is just one thing and different aspects of looking into the security.
Okay, okay. So let's make this real for the audience, Aditya. So let's quickly jump into the environments and the industries where this problem shows up most acutely. So if you could have a comment on that.
Yeah, surely. I do have comment on that. Just a second.
After that, Aditya, we will jump into the right away for the Q&A sessions because most of the audience here, they are very technical with this stuff, and they have multiple questions regarding this. We'll pick a few, and when then we can answer those questions.
Cool. Makes sense. Right. So basically, we were talking around the different environments and the industry that is having like same sort of problems, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it helps mostly in the three big areas, right? First would be the finance, obviously, right? They have
Mhm.
very restrict rules and need to stay compliant all the times, right?
Yes.
Then second would be like in terms of compliance, we get give them audit trails, right? We help them get compliant with industry regulatory compliance framework. There is 35 plus different compliances that we support, right?
I think the GRC part is free of charge with the AccuKnox platform.
Of course, it's
Okay.
completely free of charge. It comes with AccuKnox, and GRC is something really important for the finance sectors, right? And that is where we help them get compliant with
Mhm.
respect to different compliances. Right.
Yeah.
Second would be the manufacturing. They run a very critical take, right? On a factory floor, they need visibility without breaking the older systems, right?
Mhm.
Older systems, I mean VM servers, bare metals, right? So in this
Okay.
case, EVPF is very, very perfect for them. That
Mhm.
provides deep visibility over the app behavior. Even in older systems, we support that, right? It's like system D based deployment in older systems like VMs and bare metals. So AVPF is really perfect for to provide deep visibility in those systems. Now, the third one is fast moving DevOps team, right?
Mhm.
Where everything is automated. They rely on us to catch security issues early in their pipelines. It means the one thing which I was explaining right before this one, the entire STSS security and pipeline security, right? Whatever changes you are doing, DevOps team, right? Your developers, whatever changes you are doing, it gets monitored and be ensured that bad code never makes into the production,
Hmm.
right?
Got it.
So
Got it.
that were the three different sectors where AccuKnox provides security today.
Awesome, awesome. So Aditya, before we jump into the Q&A session, so any message for the security teams evaluating the hybrid coverage today? Any thoughts on that?
Yes, of course. There is, right. So basically, the first thing is when we say security, right? We always rely on different tools, right? Everybody relies on tools, right? Uh, when we talk tools, right, we should never rely on a single tool for a single use case. I'm
Mhm.
saying this because most of the time you see, like, if I have to sell a tool, right, from my perspective, if I have to sell one tool, I'll just make sure that you see everything is green at your end, right? Like, we are able to secure you. I am able to secure you for a different use case, right? But
Okay.
what I want to say here is basically you have different tools yourself, right? AccuKnox covers different security for you, right? You get a holistic picture. You can actually compare contrast between different tools findings, right? So there is no green dashboard. It's red for you, right? You need to work on it and you need to make it green. And
Yeah.
that is how you remain secure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think I have. Let me check. A few questions actually. So I think the given time we'll be able to like how many questions that we able to answer. Aditya, you tell me, like one or two.
I
Uh,
can answer some from there. Let me check as well.
no, like I can pick you one if you want. So
Yes, please speak.
so quick answer, Aditya. What does onboarding look like for a hybrid state of 200 nodes? We'll go
Okay,
for that.
onboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a good one. 200 nodes you have, and you have a hybrid environment, right? So I think onboarding is really super fast because we don't usually use happy agents, right? Agent is only there in case of runtime security, and that too is our own developed Cube Armor. It uses EVPF. You know EVPF. We have talked about it. This is a very lightweight deployment which will monitor your app behavior. So even if you have 200 nodes, deployment is really simple for both Kubernetes and bare metal servers. You can fully automate it for 200 nodes. We can map out your whole environment in just a few hours, right? And yeah, we use Helm for the deployment, so it's pretty straightforward.
Got it, got it. So the given time constraint, Aditya, so we have to wind up the session for today. And thank you so much. That was genuinely one of the clearest walkthroughs of the hybrid security coverage I've seen. And thank you for everyone join us today. And if today's session raised specific questions and about your environment, the AccuKnox team is available for personalized walkthrough. I think Aditya and team can watch on that, and you can book a demo using the link in the description. And for those who you are in Sri Lanka, VSOne is your local partner, and feel free to reach out us directly. And I think we can wind up the session for today. And thank you again for joining us. Stay secure and stay